Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Hearthstone Deck Spotlight. My name is Tommy Wave, and today we'll be taking a look at user-100380284's Odd Shaman. From this point on, I'll just refer to them as user. But user has a really interesting deck here for us, Odd Shaman. In case you haven't seen an odd deck before, it focuses on Baku the Moon Eater. Every card in your deck is odd. And if it is, it upgrades your hero power at the start of the game. So many of you might not have seen the upgraded Shaman hero power, but all it does is let you choose which totem that you summon. It doesn't summon two totems or anything like that. You just get to choose which totem to summon, which is sometimes very good. We could combine it with cards like Injured Blade Master, summon a healing totem, get some value out of that. We could summon 1/1s when we need the 1/1s, make sure that we never summon them against a Northshire Cleric. A couple of utility kind of effects, but not seen as a very powerful, not seen as worth it, I guess. You do have to make a lot of deck building concessions with Baku, and unfortunately just being able to choose which totem you get is not always the greatest. But user has come up with a pretty interesting list, and I really wanted to try it out just to see if our preconceived notions on Odd Shaman are true or not. So they've gone for a really aggressive kind of Bloodlust Shaman style. We'll go through some of the cards here. We've got a who's who of good 1-drops. Argent Squire, Diamol, Firefly. We've played with them before, of course. We've got a Lightning Bolt in here, which is going to help us with that early game removal and also give us a bit of reach in the late game. And a Witch's Apprentice here. This is kind of the odd one out. In case you haven't seen Witch's Apprentice, it's a 1-mana 0/1 with Taunt, and adds a random Shaman spell to our hand. So this could potentially help us fill in gaps in our curve, could help us discover cards that our opponent might not play around, like Volcano or something like that. And provides a little bit of a roadblock for our opponent. However, it is a 0/1, it's not very aggressive, and we're going to need to combine it with cards like Flametongue Totem in order to make it do some damage, which is certainly a downside when we could be having cards like Saronite Taskmaster or other such aggressive 1-drops in the deck. So definitely something to keep an eye on. Is this Witch's Apprentice good enough in an aggressive shell? Onto the 3-drops, which we have a lot of. We have a lot of 3-drops. Electra is great. We can combine it with Bloodlust and Lightning Bolt or Lava Burst for a bit of extra reach. Flametongue Totem, most recently just nerfed, so we can actually play it in this deck. Still just as good. I think Flame Totem is still fantastic, Flametongue, and combines well with our selection of 1-drops. Hot Spring Guardian, this I think is the card that I dislike the most in this deck. We already have Stonehill Defender, which I can totally get behind, and I usually only like playing two either Stonehill Defender, Tar Creep, or Hot Spring Guardian in these style of decks. I think having some taunts on 3 is very good, stop your opponent from trading very well, but we don't want to be stuck with these kind of anemic attackers in the mid game. We want to be able to push through some damage and play some of those more powerful 3-drops. So don't really like Hot Spring Guardian, but we'll play some games with it and see how it is. Lava Burst is a bit of reach. Lightning Storm is excellent against a lot of other minion based decks. We can use it to really take control of the board. Mana Tide Totem, this is a bit of card draw, and honestly, I think this is kind of a recurring thing that happens with a lot of these Bloodlust decks. I just don't think we're ever going to be in a game long enough where the draws from Mana Tide Totem will really dig us out of a situation. In Burn Shaman, I really like it because not only does Burn Shaman have the Lightning Bolts and the Lava Bursts that are already in the deck, they also have cards like Doomhammer and Rockbiter Weapon, which the more you draw, the more reach you have, it gives you more chance to kill your opponent. Whereas if we get to a point where our opponent's got board control, really we're just hoping to rip the 2 Lava Bursts or the 2 Lightning Bolts and that our opponent's low enough that we can kill them. So I really don't like the Mana Tide Totem, especially 2 Mana Tides. Maybe 1 you could get away with, but I'm not really a fan, and I'll get into that a little bit more in a second. Stonehill Defender is fantastic, and Unbound Elemental and Vicious Fledgling represent kind of the more aggressive 3-drops that we have. And I think that's kind of a problem because this Vicious Fledgling, I love it. No problems with this. Unbound Elemental actually doesn't have too many cards to go off of. We don't have any dogs in this deck, Feral Spirits. We've only got the Lightning Bolt here. There's no Overload minions in here, Lava Burst and Lightning Storm. So our Unbound Elemental actually can't grow too big. And I think that this is kind of one of the problems, is that as far as aggressive cards go, 2 Flame Tongues, 2 Vicious Fledgling, 2 Unbound Elemental is just not enough. And this deck doesn't have any of the cards that I would say are kind of key to a Bloodlust style deck, like a Microtech Controller. You know, we've seen this before. Great with Bloodlust, great with Stormbringer. Lots of stats, lots of aggressive stat. That's 4 power, which is fantastic. So I'd like to see cutting some of these more anemic beaters for cards like Microtech Controller, maybe another 1-drop. The other thing is the only 5-drops we've got are Bloodlust. And I think that this deck can certainly afford some space for a Fungalmancer or 2. Obviously, if we wanted to play a less budget version, we could be playing Leroy's, we could be doing all kinds of fancy stuff, but this deck certainly seems like we could make it a really good Fungalmancer deck. So just a couple of things that we want to keep an eye out for: the Witch's Apprentice, in general, how many 1-drops we have, and just kind of how well we compete once we do start dropping these 3-drops. Can we close the game out quick enough, or do we need to get more aggressive beaters in here? So hopefully we're wrong. Hopefully this deck is perfect. User does look like they've done quite a good job at picking some really good cards for the deck. But regardless, hopefully we get some learns about Bloodlust Shaman as an archetype, and we get some learns about Odd Shaman. Maybe all of the cards that we mentioned actually get purely offset by having that odd hero power, having access to the right totems at the right time. But yeah, without further ado, let's jump into some games and see how we go.
I'll bring victory
for Doomhammer.
Alright, up against the Priest here. I like the Firefly. I also kind of like Witch's Apprentice as a way to block our opponent's Northshire Cleric. Yeah, let's go with this. I love how these nerfs have shaken up the meta. Kappa, totally good. Cloudy, what is going on? Good to see you. Yeah, I saw those, I think it was Kibler put out that tweet with just some of the HS replay stats. I assume from the last 24 hours, but yeah, Odd Paladin on top. A lot of the regular kind of movers and shakers.
What to do?
I mean, we could be super nasty and, like, if we suspect our opponent's on some kind of control list, we can actually just summon a healing totem. Like, get a second Firefly out there, just block our opponent from ever killing the healing totem, and just see if we can deck them. I'm gonna go for it. Yeah, I'm gonna try it. Have some cards, friend.
Thank you.
Well played.
Freeze was such a good candidate for nerfs. Servitude and Diamond Spellstone are dominant in both formats. Yeah.
Let the
I mean, it always feels like when they do nerfs, it's always like a month too late, if that makes sense.
Out of my jungle!
job done.
M Kaiser 6644. Tommy, we're wanting to ask you, who do you think the AEW TV deal is with? Well, unfortunately, I don't know much of American like TV things. I can only really comment on like what I hear from the Wrestling Observer, Wrestling Observer Radio and stuff like that.
My hand is too full.
Get out of here, Fire Tree Witch Doctor. So yeah, I don't really know, like, don't know who could be with. I forget what the names they were talking about were. I mean, if you've got some suspicions, hit me up. Hit me up with your conspiracies. We need more hand interaction. OTK decks are getting boring. That is very true. The amount of times that I am just like my life for a dirty rat. Oh, dirty bat or dirty rat in classic. That's what I want.
Yummy shroomies.
Rummy shroomies. Yeah, the OTK decks are definitely a bit of a problem. I mean, it just goes back to, like, Freeze Mage. And at the very least, a lot of these decks... I mean, the Holy Wrath Paladin is pretty close with Timeout, but at least none of these decks have Ice Block, I guess. But if that's the positive that you are making from the situation, I don't know. That's a bit of a weird... a weird comparison to make, I guess.
The light protects me.
We could Lightning Storm here. Sure. I'm fine with OTK, but they need to print counterplay. Yep, big agree. They said it was bigger than the previous WWE TV contract, so I have a suspicion that it's with TBS, which is Turner Broadcasting System, which is usually ironic because, yep, WCW. Yep. Yeah. I hope, like, if it's with something bigger than WWE, that'll be awesome. That'll be sick. Yeah, even if it's with Spike or someone like that, it could still be really good. We are getting hammered here. Then you have the Mouth Breeders who are like aggro as the counter. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that doesn't get rid of the like bad taste that those decks leave in people's mouths. Says not Spike, but bigger than that contract. Yeah. No, I definitely feel you, Cloudy. Like, it never feels good to lose to a deck where that deck's entire goal is simply just to draw itself, not die, and then kill you. And it does seem quite strange that Blizzard has, at least in the last couple of sets, outside of like Demonic Project. Outside of Demonic Project, they've been really not... Like, they haven't printed a lot of interaction like what we were talking about. Like with Dirty Rat and these kinds of things. Hmm. 7, 14, 24. I think our opponent's going to be really sad. Like, really sad.
I fight.
Well played.
I think they regret not killing these totems. Got him. I think we stole that one, friends. Alright, we are back here with the Odd Shaman. Got a good one here. I like the Argent Squire with the Vicious Fledgling, and I think the Stonehill is a great way to possibly defend that Vicious Fledgling if we coin it out. Just chatting with our opponent from before, who we sneaked a win out. Definitely not opposed to spamming my brand at them as well. Alright, this Argent Squire matches up very well. The South Sea Deckhand. See what our opponent does if they just go for the hero power. We might actually... Ooh, do we risk it?
I fight.
I don't think we will. I think I'm going to get this Stonehill out.
Out of my jungle.
Ooh, Drakari Defender. Maybe we just want the Mogushan Warden because this kills like 7 Silverhand recruits. Fits our curve as well. Yeah, I was totally waiting for the salty message as well, but you know what? If our opponent from before, if you're watching on YouTube, thanks for being polite. Thanks for being positive. Thanks for not getting corrupted by the negativity. I won't trade in or anything here. I think we might Cauldron Paladin.
That's incredible.
Ooh, and a Blessing of Might. That's actually pretty scary. Trade to get it. Tick off. I think we might just go for the Lava Burst though. Have another, that's fine. Well, let's go Witch's Apprentice first, because if we hit a Lightning Bolt, we'd rather play that. Sure, have some spells. Please just don't get a Hex. Hope you did get a Hex. I guess like we could take +3 health, which is better against like Volcano or Lightning Storm. But I think they're more likely to have some kind of like Earth Shock or Lightning Bolt or something. Obviously we would have preferred Wind Fury.
Hello?
I guess also unfortunately we can't Oh wow, the +1 attack maul. They got us. And we're overloaded as well. Oh, and they have Corridor Creeper. Yikes. Yeah, wow.
Well played.
Jeez. That was a tremendous draw. Wish we took the plus health, of course. But I imagine that they probably have like a Lightning Bolt or something sitting in their hand. Interesting. They didn't have many other ways to kind of push the gas. This Witch's Cauldron is going off. Every time I play against Cauldron Paladin, it makes me want to play Cauldron Paladin myself.
Reporting for duty.
Fair enough. Get that Divine Favor out of your hand. Have all the spells. It's fine. Take them. I don't need them. I've never actually heard the burn animation from Annoyatron. Didn't realize it could get so. They did have an Earth Shock. I think this was from the most recent lot of cards though. Did have a Lightning Bolt. Sounds like we were kind of damned if we did, damned if we didn't.
job's done.
Oh, Quartz Elemental. How tremendously useful against the deck with a bunch of 1/1s. Now I'm going to go play Cauldron Paladin. You should. Do it. Chuck a Prince Liam in there. Go full meme. Hello. If you're watching on YouTube and you want to also play Cauldron Paladin yourself, we've covered the deck numerous times. And we've had a lot of fun. It's actually, it might be one of my most, the deck that I enjoy the most. Both on, I think because it is a fairly competitive deck. Like Odd Paladin itself is just competitive. You know, if you change 2 cards into 2 Witch's Cauldrons, sometimes you just never draw the Witch's Cauldrons and you still win. I think we're a bit dead.
Well played.
Give our opponent the well played.
You win this.
Yeah, wow, I really just want to play Cauldron Paladin now. GG's. Okay, here we are with users Odd Shaman deck. Gonna go for the full mulligan here. I think it's really important that we hit a 1-drop. And we have so many 3-drops in the deck that we can expect to draw 1 or 2. So definitely already feeling the low 1-drop count. Oh, ick. Let's see if they have the Northshire Cleric. They do not. Let's see if this scares our opponent. The hero power is insane. I'm skeptical. I'm still skeptical.
Is someone injured?
Damn it. And we do have Electra. Like, we've got some burst. We got some burst. Now, does it let us choose the same totem twice? Sadly not approved yet, but next stream it should be. Well, if you've got it on like Twitter or anything, you feel free to chuck it on Twitter or DM me or whatever, because keen to see it. Yeah, does this hero power let us choose the same totem twice? I assume it would. Is our opponent thinking about taking a card? Yeah. Oh, jeez. I think it does. Alright, well, we're going to try. Baku. It does.
The light protects me.
I mean, we could just get like +7 spell damage, right? Or get +6 and then go Electra Lava Burst. Hit our opponent for 22. Get him. Oh no! All my totems! You dirty rat bastard.
Out of my jungle!
That didn't go as I fight.
Ooh, more totems. We can even Electra and summon the most totems. We should definitely play, try and do Odd Shaman with that, what's the 5 mana 5/5? If you control all the totems, summon Alakir. Just like never happens. Just give me all the totems.
Go away!
Maybe our opponent accidentally like leaves a bunch of crummy totems in play and we get the Electra Bloodlust off. How many totems do we need to kill our opponent? We'd need 5. Even if they had 0 attack, if we had 5 things out and we Electra Bloodlust, kills them from 30. Psychic Scream! Oh. Okay, alright, our opponent wanted nothing to do with that. I'm threatening you. I'm threatening you. Just when you thought you were safe. Spell damage is back again. I don't know what's happening, man. He just keeps choosing spell damage. I think he's gonna do something. Oh my gosh. Alright, 2 Dust Breakers and a Psychic Screen.
Speak to me.
We don't have any dragons in our deck. Damn it.
I see a vision in the flames.
I think that that Duskbreaker definitely put the game out of reach for us. You have a Duskbreaker in your deck? Oh, yes, awesome. Oh, roast my fire treatment, Doctor. How dare you? Why did he take the taunt? That was stupid. Should have taken the spell damage. Sent you the emote on Twitter. Awesome reasons. I'll take a look at it once I'm done with streaming today. Thank you very much.
Out of my jungle!
That didn't go as
Alright, come on, team. We can do it. Holy Fire, my boy? Full clear, okay.
I will silence their screams.
Once I get my green screen, I'm going to make all my emotes my weird faces. That's something to aim for. I don't know. I don't know if my face is weird enough for emotes. Maybe it is. We might just have to go for like Electra, Earthen Might on Electra.
a shadow. Let me change your mind.
Alright. Okay. Alright. We don't have to see anymore. Oof. I think if our opponent didn't have that second Duskbreaker after the first and the Psychic Screen, we might have actually had a chance. There was like a little window where we could have hit like a big Bloodlust or something like that. Maybe gotten our opponent low enough that our we could get them with our burst damage, but unfortunately not. So GG's, well played to our opponent. Alright, we're here with users Odd Shaman. Overall, whilst we didn't have the most success with the deck, I think there's definitely something to like. There's something to like about choosing to, you know, summon your own totems and being able to put yourself in situations, particularly the spell damage side of things. I don't think I fully realized just how awesome being able to get +1 spell damage at almost any point in the game was. I would like to change a couple of things, most notably the Hot Spring Guardians I wasn't really liking, nor the Mana Tide totems did I feel like they did too much. Would love to get another budget all-star in here. We'll get the Fungalmancers in here. And then I think I'd like another 1-drop. Acris Veteran could be good. We could go with some Crystallizers if we want more of the kind of resilient early game. Glacial Shard's not going to be too bad. I think I would lean towards... Actually, we could even go with Light Warden, knowing that we can always summon a healing totem. So you can kind of see there's a lot of interesting things that we could be doing with this deck to try and attack on different angles and things like that. But I think maybe I'd try out some Saranite Taskmasters or something like that. And then go on from here and look at how we can improve the deck. But I think this already feels a little bit... the curve feels a little bit better. We've definitely got some more stuff to do on 5. But yeah, I might actually play some games with this off of stream and see how we go. Regardless, big shout out to user-100380284 for sharing this awesome deck. It was fun to explore Odd Shaman, and I think they've got some nice ideas there. So if you are watching on YouTube, all the links are down in the description, including a link over to the Hearthstone deck article, which you can find users Odd Shaman deck at. Please give the deck a +1. Leave a lovely, thoughtful comment with how you feel. How do you feel Odd Shaman is? Do you think it's an interesting archetype to explore? Do you think it could be tier 1? Do you think it's purely just a bit of a meme deck? Let them know what you think. You can also let me know what you think in the comments below. My name is Tommy Wave. You can catch me on Twitter at Tommy_Wave or on Twitch, Tommy_Wave as well. And until next time, stay safe, stay wavy, and be vicious. Bye. I hope you enjoyed that video. Check out other ones over here, or come subscribe to the Wave Pool for more excellent times.
Yeah!